Hello everyone, this is Lahari, pursuing engineering in Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering in the branch of Information Science and Department. Today my topic is on non-conservation energy sources. The contents are Introduction, non-conventional energy sources, solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy, biomass energy, ocean thermal energy, status of non-conventional energy sources, advantages, disadvantages, finally the conclusion for the topic. Coming to the introduction, we have the sources of the energy which are exhaustible and being continuously in nature are called as non-conventional energy or renewable sources of energy. Some of these sources include the solar energy, wind energy, and the tidal energy. The conventional energy sources are basically based on the fossil fuel, which have finite reservoirs in nature and would have extent in future. Since the development and the process of the mankind are closely related to the energy sources, many countries throughout the world has engaged themselves in searching and developing non-conventional energy sources that would be used essentially to sustain the life cycle for the human. Non-conventional energy sources. Energy is a primary and the most universal measure of all kinds of work by the human beings and nature. Energy is a major input to drive the life cycle and improve it. Energy consumption is closely related to the process of the mankind in future, improvement in the living standard of the mankind, industrialization of the developing countries, and the global demand for the energy increases with the every growing population. The development of the infrastructure plays a significant role to sustain the economic growth. The conventional sources of energy are generally non-renewable sources of energy which are being used since a long time. These sources of energy are being used extensively in such a way that their known resources have been depleted to a great extent. The source of energy which are being produced continuously in nature and are inexhaustible are called as non-conventional energy or the renewable source of energy. Solar energy. Solar energy is most readily available and free source of energy since prehistoric times. It is estimated that solar energy equivalent to over 15,000 times the world's annual commercial energy consumption reaches the earth every year. Solar energy can be utilized through two different routes as the solar thermal routes and the solar electrics, that is by using the solar photovoltaic. Coming to the solar thermal routes uses the sun's heat to produce the hot water or air, cook food, drying materials, etc. Solar photovoltaic uses the sun's heat to produce electricity for lighting home and building, running motors, pumps, electric appliances and lighting. In solar thermal routes, solar energy can be converted into thermal energy with the help of solar collectors and receivers known as the solar thermal device. Wind energy is basically harnessing of the wind power to produce electricity. The kinetic energy of the wind is converted to the electrical energy. When solar radiation enters the Earth's atmosphere, different regions of the atmosphere are heated to different degrees because of the Earth's curvature. This heating is higher at the equators and lower at the poles. Since air tends to flow from warmer to cooler regions, this causes what we call winds, and it is the air flows that are harnessed in windmills and wind turbines to produce power. Now wind power is harnessed to generate electricity in a large scale with better technology. Hydro energy, the potential energy of falling water captured and converted to mechanical energy by water wheels powered the start of the industrial revolution. Whenever sufficient head or change in elevation could be found, rivers and streams were dammed and mills were built. Water under pressure flows through a turbine and causes it to spin. The turbine is connected to a generator which produces electricity. Biomass energy. Bioenergy is a form of biogas which is derived from biomass. Is expected to become one of the key energy resources of the global sustainable development. Biomass is a renewable energy source derived from the carbonaceous waste of various human and the natural activities. Biomass do not add carbon dioxide to the atmosphere as it absorbs the same amount of carbon in growing as it releases when consumed as a fuel. Its advantages is that it can be used to generate electricity with the same equipment that is now being used for burning fossil fuels. Bioenergy is being used for cooking, mechanical applications, pumping water, generation, electricity. Ocean thermal energy conversion, form of energy conversion that makes use of the temperature differential between the warm surface water of the ocean heated from the solar radiations and the deepest cold waters to generate power in the conventional heat engines. The difference in temperature between the surface and the lowest water layer can be as large as 50 degrees Celsius over vertical distance as little as 90 meters in some ocean areas. To be economically practical, the environmental of the temperature differential should be at least 20 degrees Celsius in the first 1000 meters below the surface. In the first decades of the 21st century, the technology was still considered to be experimental and thus far no commercial ocean thermal energy conversion plants have been constructed. Present status on non-conventional energy sources. In India, the Department of the Non-Conventional Energy Sources was created in the Ministry of Energy in the year 1982 to look after all the aspects relating to new and renewable energy. The department was upgraded into separate Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Sources in 1992 and was recherished as a Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Sources in October 2006. As per the information furnished by the MNRE, starting with the ninth plan, there was been consistent increase in the pace of renewable energy development. In India, renewable energy installed capacity has grown at an annual rate of 23%. Using of small hydro, tides, geothermal and biomass is known as non-conventional energy. All of these sources as renewable present of energy generating and do not cause environmental pollution. Advantages of non-conventional energy sources. Non-conventional or the renewable energy is an indigenous source available in considerable quantities to all developing nations and capable in principle of having a significant local, religion or the national economic impact. There is a great scope of research and development in non-conventional energy sectors regarding its future development and significant utilization. The power plants based on renewable do not have any fuel cost and here negligible running cost. Renewable have low energy density and more or less there is no pollution or ecological balance problem. The use of non-conventional energy could help to conserve the foreign exchange and create local employment. The disadvantage of non-conventional energy sources are of such as solar and the wind power rely highly on the weather which can make it difficult to generate consistent and reliable power. The initial investment requirement to set up the non-conventional energy system can be quite high, which may not feasible for some individuals or organizations. Non-conventional energy sources such as solar and the wind power are often generating in the large amount during the peak times, but short options for this excess energy may not be effective or cost effective. Non-conventional sources of energy has a limited capacity when compared to the conventional sources such as the coal and the natural gas, which can limit their overall potential. Finally, the non-conventional energy sources can also have the negative environmental impacts such as large-scale hydroelectric dams that can cause the habitat destruction and displace local communities. Finally, the conclusion for the topic is that the sustainable economic development and the growth of any country are closely related to the development and security of its energy sectors. Concerning the finite and the limited resources of these energies and their impact on the environment, a great emphasis should be given to the development of the non-conventional energy sectors and the proper utilization for the benefits and the betterment of the mankind. Such initiatives would also help to create many employment opportunity at all the levels, especially in the rural areas. Thus, mainstreaming of the non-conventional and the renewable energy technologies is becoming very essential for the developing countries. In India, there is a great scope for the development of the non-conventional and the renewable energy sectors. India is the only country that has exclusive Ministry of New and Non-Renewable Energy Sources. Thank you.